everyone and welcome to my popular middle grade I have not read yet video. So we're in the middle of middle grade March, and while I was making up my TBR I suddenly realised that I had a lot of popular middle grade I have not read yet. So what I thought I'd do is go through some of the ones that I own, some of the ones I've got on my wish list that I have not read yet, in an attempt to basically shame myself into reading some of these. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm actually going to start with two of my latest acquisitions because that's just what I want to start with, and those are the Elle McNichol books. So that's A Kind of Spark I haven't read, along with Like a Charm. Admittedly, Like a Charm's only been out for like a month, so I mean, it's not too bad, but I haven't read A Kind of Spark either. But I bought these two in Waterstones while I was out a couple of days ago because I just finished Show Us Who You Are and absolutely fell in love with it. This book was incredible. I absolutely loved it. I don't do contemporary, but I absolutely loved it. Like, I don't do contemporary, we all know this, but I love the contemporary with the slight sci-fi twist. I loved how relatable it was. I love like the own voices with the autism rep as well, so I had to get these two. A Kind of Spark is also autism rep, and this is a contemporary about a young girl who learns about the witch trials in her hometown, and she tries to get a memorial for the witches and things like this. So really want to read this one. I've heard nothing but good things. And then Like a Charm, I don't actually know the story about. I just know it's an urban fantasy set in Edinburgh, and it's filled with magical creatures and only the main character can see them. And I know that this one's own voices for the dyspraxic rep, if I remember rightly, which I also have. So very, very interested, very, very excited to read both of these. I loved Show Us Who You Are, and I don't do contemporary, so that's a shocker for me in the first place. But I cannot wait to read these two. I love Show Us Who You Are, and Elle McNichol may now just be an auto-buy author for me. I'm putting it out there, she may now just be an auto-buy author for me, so I'm very excited to read these two and just properly jump on the Elle McNichol bandwagon. Another one I have is The Monsters of Rookhaven by Padre Kenny. This one I picked up at the beginning of the month as well. It was two for £7 or £4 each, and I picked up this one and another book which I will tell you about in my book haul at the end of the month. I'm waiting until after my birthday because I will be doing a big book haul at the end of that. But I got this one because Hannah from Ladder M keeps on talking about it, and it's about a young girl called Mirabelle who is always known she's a monster, and there's like a glamour around her and her family and things like this. That's all I really know. I know it's supposed to be spooky, and I am here for spooky books. I am just fully in the mood for spook at the moment. I'm going to blame my Wednesday Addams heart for this, and me also just wanting it to be Halloween again. I know it's not at the moment, but I'm just waiting for Halloween. I don't like summer. I'm a pure Halloween spooky season girl, so I'm sort of waiting for that, I guess. But very, very excited for this. I have heard really good things about this one, and I'm always here for a spooky middle grade. And then on to the ones I have owned for a very, very long time, or at least several months now, and I still haven't read yet. The worst offender is Eragon. I keep on talking about this and I still haven't read it, but I will one day. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Like, I mean, this book's so old the pages have gone properly yellow, and I just haven't read it yet, and I don't own the others either. I haven't read this. When was this even published? 2004. I haven't read it. Came out in 2004. Watched the movie. Haven't read the book yet. I should probably get on this. Another one I have is The School for Good and Evil. Now, I have an excuse, sort of, in the sense that I bought this in a charity shop like last month, maybe the month before. I bought it in a charity shop this year, so I technically haven't owned it that long. But it's been in my library, not holds, wish list, earmarked to borrow at some point, part of the library, for 2 years. It's been there for a very long time, and I haven't picked it up yet. To fairness to me though, I am waiting for the film to come out, because the film is coming out on Netflix this year. I know it's definitely coming out this year because it was part of the Netflix sort of roundup thing of this is everything that's coming out this year kind of thing. So I was like, right, okay, I'll wait until that comes out. But I still need to get on with it and read it, so I do need to read it, but I am waiting until the film comes out. And I don't know when it's coming out because the full trailer has not been released yet, so I've got no idea when the release date is. I'm going to guess later this year. probably towards the end of the year. Either way, I will be reading this year. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I probably should, because this sounds right up my alley, because it just says one witch girl, one princess, one happily never after. I love, like, that kind of idea. I really need to read this one, because it also says the princess and the witch don't look like they do in fairy tales. I'm here for this. I'm absolutely here for this. I just need to get on and read it. That's all I've got. I need to get on and read it. And not drop the book. That also helps if you don't drop the book. There's also Pages & Co. I haven't read this one either. To be fair, I've only just got this one in like December, so it's not all bad. I haven't owned it until now, but again, it was on my library list for a good 2 years and I still hadn't picked it up yet, so yeah. But I really want to read this one. I've heard nothing but good things about this, about Tilly, who can basically book wander, which means she can jump into like loads of different books and go into their worlds, things like this. I've heard nothing but good things about this one, and I have absolutely no excuse for not having read it yet. Especially considering it was on my library holds for like 2 years, so I should probably get to this, because I now physically own it, so it's about time I actually read it. Another one I have is the Charlie Bone series. Now, admittedly, there is actually a genuine excuse here, and that is I had never heard of this book until last year, because Cara from Wild Book Garden was talking about this series, and I had never read it before. I hadn't even heard of it before, so that is my legit excuse. I know it's a bit magical, and the fact that Charlie Bone can hear people in photographs talking, and he's got horrible aunts. That's all I really know. I know nothing else essentially further than the fact that it's been raved about, and this cover is really, really shiny, which I really like. I find this really fun to just look at. I'm very easily amused, but that's all I really know. I really want to read this one, but I'm trying not to start new series, to be fair, until I've completed a few others. Hopefully the final book support group's going to help with that, because I'm now on that Discord, so I'm hoping I'll manage to finish some series, but there we go. Yeah, I've heard good things about this from Cara from Wild Book Garden, and yeah, very excited to see what I missed when this was first being released in 2002 when I was 6. And then the final physical one I've got is the Hatmakers. I have no excuse for this further than the fact that I have no excuse. I have absolutely no excuse. I've waited so long that the sequel's now come out and I still haven't picked up the first one. I've used it in multiple Bookstagram pictures. It's in the background of all of my videos, so it should be at the forefront of my mind, and it never is. So I should probably get to this one. I don't know when, but I need to get to it. I don't really know much about this one. I literally picked this up on the recommendation of Hannah from Ladette M when I was buying stuff from Waypoint, and she said I'd probably really enjoy this one. So I added it to my order. And I've heard people raving about this. I just haven't read it because I have no excuse. I procrastinated. I need to get to this one. I really, really need to get to this one. I just haven't yet. So hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. She says for all of these and probably won't, but you never know. I then also have a couple of things that I don't own yet. The first one is the Tristan Strong series. I have not read this one, but I have a solid plan to start it because I'm going to be reading this in April for the Avengers Reading Challenge, because it is the group book for the Avengers Reading Challenge. So I figured I'll read it then. This is part of the Rick Riordan Presents imprint, and this imprint has not steered me wrong yet. I really, really like it, so I'm going to be continuing on with that and reading this one as part of that series. And you can also definitely say that basically the entirety of the Rick Riordan Presents is popular books I haven't read yet. I've got multiple all over all of my wish lists and everything else. I just haven't read them yet, so I need to get on that. And I haven't bought them yet either, but you know, maybe for my birthday, I don't know yet. But either way, I need to read these, and yeah, at least I have an actual plan for Tristan Strong, and I've actually got a solid month of which I'm going to read this one, which is an improvement on the previous books I've mentioned, so at least that's something. I'm trying to make myself feel better here. There's so many middle grade I haven't read yet, but there we go. I also have Ghost Squad on this list, and this one is described as Stranger Things meets Ghostbusters, where a spell awakens evil spirits, and I'm just here for anything that sounds like Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things so much, so I definitely want to read this one. My actual excuse for this, because I actually have a proper excuse for this, and that is I can never find it anywhere in the UK. Literally, I've not been able to find it anywhere in the UK. The only place I have seen it is Portal Bookshop, which generally has it out of stock, and the only other place that has it is Amazon, and obviously I'm trying not to buy things from Amazon, so yeah, it's a bit of a hard one. I'm having the same problem with Aru Shah as well. I've looked around for the final book everywhere. The only place that's stocking it is Amazon, which is very annoying. If you have any other place in the UK that is selling either of these books, please tell me down below, because I'd love to order it from somewhere else, but there we go. But yeah, Ghost Squad, it just sounds amazing. I have wanted to read this for like 2 years now. I just have not found it anywhere. So yeah, I really want to read this one though, but at least I have an excuse for this. I really wish it was any other excuse, but there we go. Really want to read this one though, it sounds so good. And then the final one I'm going to mention is Coraline. I have never read Coraline. I am currently reading the Graveyard book by Neil Gaiman, but I have never read Coraline. I've watched the film multiple times. I love the film. I have not read the book yet because I haven't bought the book yet, but I really want to buy the book because I quite like Neil Gaiman's writing. Some of his work is a bit hit or miss for me, but I generally really like his writing, and I really love the Coraline movie. It's just that right amount of creepy, but I've heard the book is even creepier, and I'm like still in the Wednesday Addams heart mood and creepy mood. I really want to read this. I love this idea of like with the buttons for eyes and the other world, things like this. Really want to read it. I just haven't bought it or read it anywhere, so I really need to get on that because I really like the film and it's about time I read the book. And that is the end of the books I want to show myself about not reading yet. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me which books you really need to read. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a button emoji down below to let me know that you were here, and also to shame me into reading Coraline sooner. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics. Or if books and bullet journals are more your thing, I'll also leave a link down below to my Etsy and Redbubble store, which sells bookish merch and bookish bullet journal stuff if you're interested in that. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!